with are gone.
You remember the old let's see, the old 2.5 ton Fords, the 2.5 ton Chevys that had the ramps up on the back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They take the bed off and
Yes.
put the ramps up, and
Put
they
the
pull
car
it
up there,
there,
the tire rack on top.
Tire rack up on top of the.
There's one for sale. I got my eye on for
Really?
$3,500. It's a crew cab Chevy.
But even drag racing, they did that.
Yep.
Back in the old days, because who in the heck is going to buy a hauler?
Right.
They didn't know what an enclosed trailer was.
Right.
They knew what a semi-trailer was. NASCAR boys.
A lot of guys take a school bus, cut the back end off.
Yeah.
Saw
I've seen that a
stuff.
couple of times.
Yeah, absolutely. Roy Bain, you are just stirring the pot. He says, I was in the Navy 12 years, and now I'm a truck driver. I'd watch, laugh out loud. I think he's one of the guys that can handle what goes on in that Suburban.
Maybe we'll do a private viewing just for Roy then.
We might.
Yeah.
Word gets around quick. But I want to recognize some of the heat race winners in each division from last Saturday in the wing sprint cars. Charlie Thompson in the 101. He won a heat race. Anissa Curtis got the other one. The scramble was 4 laps for the top 4 spots in the starting feature. That was actually won by Bailey Hibbard. He started on the pole. Main event rolled around. Mike Wheeler, Bailey Hibbard, Anissa Curtis, and Enrique Jaime were the top 4. It's a lot of young talent right there. Every one of those drivers. I mean, Mike's 30. I think he's 33 years old. But he's a young 33. And this guy is got that. He's got spirit. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of Tony Stewart.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Absolutely. Late models heat race winners were Trent Elliott, Dave Everson, and Rich McCoy. Rich McCoy filled in the 33J, Jason Schultz. I didn't know that, so I was saying Schultz all night long. Found out Sunday when Jason messaged me and said, "Hey man, sorry I didn't give you the lowdown." I said, "Oh man, I didn't know." But he got the heat race win when he was running second to Waggy when Waggy broke and got the win. Trophy Dash went to Trent Elliott. Main event, Darren Koffel, Trent Elliott, Dave Everson, Paul Culp, and Eric Massey were your top 5. Bobbio's Pizza Mini Stocks heat race winners were Dave Steele, Ashton Hedges. Trophy Dash went to Dave Steele. And main event, Dave Steele, Ashton Hedges, Hunter Magnan, Mike McLeod, Andrew Hall. Well, that's an absolute fact, Roy Bain. Tired late night coffee, caffeinated enclosed space equals comedy gold.
Oh, you have no
Listen,
idea.
You have
That's
no
the ride.
idea.
What's the pilot girl's name? I don't remember.
I don't know, but they see us coming and people
we
start
come
ducking
in.
for cover. Jote Lab Hornets heat race winners: Chris Boynton in the 28. Tim Hedges. Trophy Dash went to Tim Hedges, and the main event went to Tim Hedges. Dylan Sauer was second in the main. Jenna Hedges with a third place finish. Quentin Trischler and Chris Boynton were your top 5. And in the Valley Store All Late Model Lights, the heat race winner, Ross Pant. Trophy Dash went to Charlie Eaton. And the main event went to the 7 of Ross Pant, with Eaton second, Greg on the third, and Dusty Oss in the 4th spot. Those were your winners from last Saturday. This Saturday night coming up, we've got another fun night. I'm sure this is going to be a good one. We've got Pepsi Kids Bike Night. Okay, I don't know how many bikes we're giving away, but it sounds like an insane amount. I mean, I've heard dozens. I mean, it's. I hope we have time to do all that. I mean, we're going to have, I don't know if they're going to do it by raffle tickets. I don't know how they're going to give these away. I'll find out. We're giving away bikes. Kids get in free. And they get a ticket to win a free bike. Several bikes during intermission. That's what it says here. So we're also going to have the Calculated Comfort Outlaw Pro Stocks back. And we saw what a race they had last time they were here with Scotty Lenz got the win in the 51L just ahead of Scott Flowers. And that way they had a great race going for the top spot. Very, very entertaining. Bobbio Pizza Mini Stocks, they're going to be there along with the Jote Labs Hornets, OTRO Hardtops, Valley Storall Late Model Lights is what is on the card. Gates open at 5. First race at 7. General admission for adults is 13. Seniors 62 and up. And veterans are $7. Children 12 and under are free. I think we're going to have a good night. We're going to have a large crowd for this one.
Yep. I hope so.
I'm excited to see the Pro Stocks. We talked about these the last time they were there and what's the upcoming deal. We talked about how they're kind of a combination between a late model and a modified, and they're on the G60. Oh, they were in the wide slick groove. We saw those guys on those, and the way they drive those cars, you got your hands full, because that's, they're limited on their rules, they're fast, and the racing was, we saw Lenz and Flowers in that last battle, the 51 and the 21. Those guys went at it for laps to settle out who was going to win. Scott Lenz finally got up front and stretched it out just a bit and got the win, but man, he earned it. That was a fun race to watch. I hope we have half the entertainment from that division we had last time they were here. And from what I understand, they're supposed to be bringing quite a few cars this time too. I think we had 12 or 14 last time, something like that. From what I understand, we're looking at a bigger car count with this division this coming Saturday night.
I was doing something else. Who are we talking about?
What is in that Coke bottle you're drinking?
Coca-Cola.
We're talking about the Calculated Comfort Outlaw Pro Stocks. That
Pro
series.
Stocks, okay.
Yeah, the Pro Stock series coming in.
I was thinking about hard tops for some reason.
Well, they're going to be there too. The OTRO hard top's going to be there.
Just to mention that, I was today searching through the internet at home during one of my few rest periods, and I looked at the Legend cars.
Yeah.
Same as the hard tops, just about.
They're smaller.
Yeah.
Legends are a little bit bigger than a Dwarf.
Yeah. But God, they look good.
They're neat looking cars. We don't have them much out, and there's some in California.
But you know what?
There's none up here in the.
Out of all those hard tops that was there at the last race, I would have took any of those and put them on the street.
Yeah.
They was that good looking,
yeah.
especially that 33.
Well, just yeah.
I would have put that. I would have put some big, wide, gnarly tires on the back, and dressed that puppy up, and I would have drove that through Lebanon back and forth about 25 times.
the nostalgia you see. When those cars roll out, it's like you're rolling back 50 years. That is just the nostalgia alone is worth
But
watching.
straight front axles under those puppies.
They have to run an inline six. They're limited, but man, they are neat race cars.
A spring hung straight line axle in the front.
Yeah.
Those have got to be.
There's not a lot of technology.
They got to be hard to drive.
Well, you look at those guys. Look at those guys in those cars when they're coming down the straightaways. Their hands, they're working that wheel.
Yeah, they are.
They're working that wheel. So
well, it's not exactly sitting still for them either. It's moving.
Right. Then you compare
I can only imagine the bump steer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You compare that, handling that to a modified or a late model, man, you better have some arms.
But back in the day, I'm not going to date myself again. Everybody knows how old I am. I used to race snowmobiles. And one guy asked me, he said something about it, says, well, how fast does that thing run? I said, I don't know, 115, 120. Well, how in the world do you steer one of those? I said, with your butt.
Yep. It's like a quad.
With your butt.
Gary was out here on the track we're building on the 4th of July.
Oh, my goodness.
On the 4th of July. Listen, I didn't get to talk about the 4th of July to the crowd. I'm going to talk about it here in a minute. This will kind of give you the idea how Moxie does things. But before we do that, I'm going to talk to Roy Bain. He's listening. He says Dustin Knight is going to have his car and should be running the Pro Stock at Southern Oregon Speedway Saturday night. Roy, do you have any idea how many cars that they're expecting? Because when I'm hearing it sounded like there was supposed to be quite a good car count. Dustin Knight is actually the current track record holder in the late models at Southern Oregon Speedway, and he is going to be behind the wheel of Roy Bain's car. So we might see a new winner. We'll find out Saturday. Now,
is it Saturday yet?
It's not. I wish it was.
It's not. Me too.
It is hump day.
This has been
it's hump day.
It's been a very long week. It has. It has been a long week, no doubt. Let's go back to the 4th of July. I want to leave our listeners 16 to 18. That's a great car count. We'll take that. We'll take 18 Pro Stocks. You bet.
Right
on.
4th of July out here every year at our property. We have a little shindig. We get together and do some fireworks, and we have some fun.
I missed it.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I've ever had more fun with a fireworks show at the beginning of the show. We did $3,500 worth of fireworks this year. Most of that courtesy of Mr. Dave Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, racers, I don't care where you're at. Listen, pay attention to these words. If Dave Miller ever comes to you and says, I've got fireworks, put a
Run.
helmet on or do your best to get out of the immediate vicinity.
A fire
Okay?
suit.
We
Fire
needed
suit.
one.
Fire
We need
extinguisher.
so Dave shows up with a pickup truck full of fireworks. When I say fireworks, I'm not talking about the stuff you buy at the stands in Oregon. I'm talking about the stuff you see at the shows
That
at the
fly up
tracks.
into the air.
That these are the big bang bangs.
New York
Mortars.
City. This
Mortars.
is the ball
6-inch
games, this
mortars.
is-
Yeah.
We're talking big mortars.
6-inch mortars.
Yes. I've got some sitting over there in a box that
Holy cow.
I actually purchased from Dave. Let me tell you, these things are dangerous, okay? So to start the show, Dave Miller says, all right, we're going to start with this one right here, and he pulls out what is called a cake. And I said, well, what's that do? He says, well, it sends up
I
some
like
big ones.
cakes.
We started the show, we lit one fuse and fired off 30 big fireworks. Boom, 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 right after one another. 30 of them, right? Man, that was awesome.
This is a grand finale.
No, this
is meant to be a grand finale, but it was started first.
That's how we started the
This is
show,
the
right?
kickoff.
So Dave and I look at each other, we're smiling like, yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Dave goes, let's do that again. Let's do another one. I'm like, all right. My neighbor's already mad anyway. We might as well just go big. so he gets another one, okay? Wanting to get a little more elevation out of it, Dave sets that cake on top of the one we just fired off. We're going to do 30 more fireworks with one fuse here. Well, on the racetrack we're building, where we're lighting them on the front stretch, I'm standing between the finish line and turn 4. Everybody else is sitting where the grandstands are going to be, right? Dave lights the fuse. 3 or 4 go up. All is good. And all of a sudden I see one streak out towards where everybody's sitting. Well, what the heck's that thing doing that for? And then one goes streaking by me. And then 2, 3, 4, 5 more go shooting out into where the crowd is, right? We all take off. Somebody else, run. We're running. I mean, we could have made the U.S. Olympic sprint team. I mean, we are getting across this field, right?
I'll tell you what, you cannot outrun those things because one hit me in the back.
Yeah. So we're all running, right? And here's where I feel bad. It's not bad. It's actually really funny, but you just feel bad. So I'm sprinting across. I'm watching these fireworks launching at us full speed, right? And we're remember when this thing fell over, we're only 4 in. We've got 26 remaining, and it's launching them at us, not in the air, but at us. Gary was running too, right?
That sounds like a good time.
So we're all running across the field. Okay, we couldn't get the sump pump to work. None of the sprinklers have worked. Grass is dry. Field's dry. We're all flying across. I'm looking back, and these things are. I mean, they went. Inches in front of me. Right. Boom, and they're blowing up. they're like you see in the sky blowing up like a star. That does not look like a star when it blows up inches from you in the air. It looks like an explosion. I mean, it's like it's scary. Okay.
But yet you're laughing.
Boom! And I am laughing now because I was laughing the whole time. So I'm trying to get away from these things. I'm seeing everybody else scatter, and all these fireworks and sparks are blowing up. I look across the field, and our field is on fire. Okay. Just moments prior to this, I invited our neighbor who lives next door to us. Hey, he's got a big field in his backyard. Hey, come on out. Bring the kids. Watch the show. We're going to have a great time, right? They're in the backyard watching in their lawn chairs, right? They're watching this. Everybody's scrambling. Field's on fire. We're all running across the field to stomp it out. There's 3 big patches of field on fire. We all stomp it out, right? We're all laughing, joking, and having a good time. We go back to lighting off fireworks like nothing happened. Gary got hit twice. Dave got hit a couple times. These things are hitting him in the ribs. I mean, didn't you have some bruising?
I never looked.
Okay, I think
Oh, no, it was a
that it
felt
was
it for the
Dave.
night.
I think Dave is the one that
Dave
had a
did.
big giant bruise on his rib
when these things are that big flying at you 100 miles an hour,
or
I'm
more.
glad I didn't get hit, but I'm laughing. But here's what you want to know what's impressive. And all that mess and all that chaos and all that running across that field, I actually had a Hennessy and Coke in my hand.
And you didn't spill a drop.
Not a
Not
single
one
drop,
drop.
Ed. Not a single drop.
Makes sense.
Oh God, it was chaos, but it was so much fun. We had a good time. Gary broke out the quad. He's on the track we're building out here, and he's hanging off this thing. I'm thinking, dude, he hangs off any farther, he's gonna be dragging his hip on the ground. I mean, it's loose dirt right now.